You're watching WYLN TV 35. Now, from the area's leader in live local news, this is WYLN News, the area's #1 source of live local news and information in Luzerne, Schuylkill, Carbon, and Columbia counties. WYLN News starts now.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us on WYLN News. I'm Philip Kaufman, filling in for Julia Wiegand. Authorities have released the identity of one of the 2 victims that were found in a wooded area of Carbon County. The female victim was identified as 55-year-old Jingzhang Gao of New York. The male victim found along with Gao has also been identified, but his name has not been released, pending notification of his family. The bodies were discovered back on May 22nd off of Eckley Road in Luzon Township. There's no word at this time as to the cause of death of any persons of interest in the case. Hazleton police responded to an area convenience store on Wednesday for a report of an intoxicated male. Officers found 41-year-old Scott Hanning inside of the Can Do Express store on South Poplar Street. He appeared to be under the influence, provided police with false identification, and refused to follow officer commands. He was found to be in possession of brass knuckles and had a backpack filled with 230 grams of suspected heroin, 189 vials of suspected crack cocaine, a gram of meth, syringes, and over $2,000 in cash. He was arrested and charged with possession with intent to deliver, possession of a controlled substance, and possession of drug paraphernalia. He was taken to Luzerne County Prison for an arraignment. Police in Hazleton are asking for the public's help identifying 3 suspects involved in a vandalism incident. The suspects, who are believed to be juveniles, spray-painted over 10 vehicles and numerous garages in the east and west sides of Hazleton Heights. The incident happened around 1 Thursday morning. Anyone with information is being asked to Sergeant Joseph Babula at 570-459-4940, extension 157. State police say that a Florida inmate implicated himself in multiple murders that occurred in Pennsylvania back in the 70s. Authorities interviewed Edward Surratt, who was convicted of murder in South Carolina and is serving life sentences at the Rayford Penitentiary for crimes he committed in Florida. Surratt confessed to killing William and Nancy Adams in Beaver County, Joel Krieger in Bedford County, and Guy and Laura Mills in Fulton County. All 4 of the murders took place back in 1977. Surratt also admitted to killing John Shelkins in Beaver County in 1978. District attorneys won't be prosecuting Surratt for the cold case homicides because of his already imposed life sentences. Wilkes-Barre Mayor George Brown announced the details of the city's old-fashioned 4th of July celebration. The event was confirmed by Mayor Brown to take place on Sunday, July 4th from 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. at Kirby Park. With the help of donations and support, the city will now be able to hold traditional fireworks at dusk presented by Sky Shooters Displays Incorporated. The event will include live entertainment, food and craft vendors, amusement rides, and games. Brown said that the event will also be the opening of the city of Wilkes-Barre after pandemic restrictions are lifted. COVID-19 heavily impacted congregated care settings, such as long-term care facilities and prisons. To maintain a safe and healthy environment, the Department of Corrections made significant changes to its day-to-day operations. On Wednesday, the DOC invited media to tour SCI Somerset and SCI Laurel Highlands, the state's designated long-term care facility for medically vulnerable male inmates. Eric Tice, superintendent at Somerset, discussed the most significant challenge they tackled.
We've had an opportunity to reinvent what our correctional operational period looks like. We were able to really create an environment inside our facilities that is safer for both mitigation of virus control and overall safety and operation of the facility.
As vaccination rates continue to rise and mitigation requirements are easing up, the DOC has learned lessons from the global pandemic to transition into a new normal.
Well, the biggest changes that we've had to really deal with was the idea that the men in this facility interacting with men of other parts of the facility really can exacerbate and increase the possibility of a virus or an infection like COVID-19 throughout the facility. So we had to develop a strategy that allowed us to mitigate that, to lessen that, but also allow us to keep operations going in the event that we did have a virus outbreak in the facility in a way that was safe.
Here at SCI Laurel Highlands, Superintendent Hainsworth outlined their first steps in mitigation.
So what we started out with is we took the CDC guidelines because we knew that even though we were opening up in person, that it was necessary for us to still keep in mind that we needed to mitigate the spread and the introduction of the COVID virus into the institution. And bringing outside visitors in is probably the biggest risk, obviously. We've dealt with that as far as staff going in and out because we can't keep them from living their lives outside of here. So we took kind of some of the things that we learned from that and instituted it into how we were going to reopen our visiting room and how it was going to look differently.
And some of the new efforts, like the video visitations, will become permanent as they have allowed for better accessibility, not just for the inmates, but visitors as well.
We have such a large medical population that obviously as they get older, so do their family members out in the community. So oftentimes they aren't able or physically able to make the long trip. So the video visitations have given them an opportunity to really converse with their loved ones and not just over a phone. So that's been really, I think, important for our population here.
Coming up on WYLN News, don't eat cicadas. Plus, Citizens Bank Park is going 100 capacity for tonight's game. But first, we'll take a look at our 5-day forecast brought to you by the WYLN Weather Kids. We'll be right back.
All Care Home Care, providing quality in home care since 1986. Call and see how their team of licensed physical therapists, skilled nurses, speech, and occupational therapists can provide you with exceptional service in the comfort of your own home. They also offer dietitian, home health aide, and medical social worker services. You have a choice in your health care. For safe, friendly, qualified care, call All Care Home Care today and let their team begin taking care of you and your loved ones.
Something is out there. What it is, no one knows. However, since its first sighting, there have been numerous reports of strange lights in the night sky. Some say they are extraterrestrials, flying saucers. But to all of those seemingly unrelated uncertainties, there is one common thread.
Solo Spaceman on WYLN TV 35. Thursdays at 1:30, Saturdays at 4, Sundays at 9. There's no better place to shoot than Whitetail Preserve. Their skeet trap and sporting clay fields are professionally designed and all stations are handicapped accessible. Whitetail Preserve has resident shooting instructors certified by the NRA in shotgun, rifle, pistol, home safety, and personal protection in the home. Whitetail can also cater any size event, whether it be a private party, corporate event, or wedding. Call 570-455-4251 extension 1378 for more information.
Hey guys, this is Ray Merrill from Blaze Alexander, Greater Hazelton. Who says you can't buy a pre-owned car? We have 2019 Trax, we have a Honda CR-V, we have a 2019 Dodge Journey, we've got another Trax, we've got GMCs, we've got a huge selection of pre-owned cars. We have them all the way down there, we have them all the way up there. You want used trucks? How about a 2019 Blacked Out Edition Silverado? Guys, if you're in the market for a car, we've got them all. Come on down to Blaze Alexander and see this huge selection of used cars at 508 Susquehanna Boulevard in Hazelton.
Sunshine Mills Incorporated is voluntarily recalling some of its dog food products due to potential salmonella contamination. Luckily, the company says no illnesses, injuries, or complaints have been reported thus far. Salmonella can possibly cause lethargy, diarrhea or bloody diarrhea, fever, vomiting, decreased appetite, and abdominal pain in animals eating the products. Infected pets can also be carriers and risk infecting other animals or even humans, especially if humans haven't washed their hands after handling said products. Consumers who purchase the recalled products should stop using them and return the unused portion to the place of purchase for a full refund. They can also contact customer service by calling 800-705-2111 or by email for more information. Here's an interesting heads up for those with a seafood allergy. The FDA has a warning for you. Don't eat cicadas. Yes, the insects that are emerging for the first time in 17 years share similar proteins found in shrimp and lobsters and could cause an allergic reaction. Now that their high-pitched mating sound has been reported, recipes containing the insects are also emerging on social media. With temperatures gradually getting warmer, you could begin to see more cicada activity over the next few days. If you've been thinking about adopting a pet, well, there's no time like the present. So, check out the SPCA of Luzerne County for all breeds, shapes, and sizes of pets. The shelter has some more furry friends for you to check out this week. Everyone, meet Radar. She's a 1-year-old pit bull and terrier mix. This young girl is super sweet and always loves to be by someone's side, so she'd make the perfect companion. And up next is Alice. She's a young little tuxedo cat who's approximately 4 months old. She's a bit timid, but warms up quickly once she gets to know you. Call 570-825-4111 to come on down and check out these featured pets and more while the shelter continues adopting out new best friends amid the pandemic. Our Wyln sports crew is proud to present you live, local Little League baseball. Buy those peanuts and Cracker Jacks for our live game of the week Monday night, June 7th, as Herbener State Farm takes on Valley Athletic for the championship title. Tune in Monday night at 6 for all the live local action right here on Wyln TV, your home for live local sports. The game will also rebroadcast next Saturday at noon. Wyln's all-time OT hero, Marty Burns, has the in-depth analysis of what's happening on and off-season across our viewing area. So, let's talk sports.
Tonight, the Philadelphia Phillies return to Citizens Bank Park, and the stadium will have the opportunity to be 100% capacity, and I have a feeling they'll be pretty close to being a full sellout as the Phillies welcome the Washington Nationals tonight to begin a 3-game weekend set. And one of the people that has to be most happy to hear the roar of the crowd during a baseball game will be our very own Mike Lula. And when I started thinking about Mike and his teams, I started thinking about the New York Jets. He's been a lifelong Jet fan through a lot of long-suffering years. Here's hoping that they've got the quarterback that they've been looking for. I think they're going to go to a defensive-minded set for that team, and then to his other team that we mentioned, the Phillies. And I thought, leading up to this, boy, how can I do this to poor Mike? They just got swept in Tampa Bay. Didn't look very good on Monday against the Cincinnati Reds, and then all of a sudden Tuesday, they get a win for Aaron Nola, who is a concern. It looks like he's struggling with his command, but he did get a win as the Phillies put up 17 runs on the strength of 7 home runs, and that's got to make Mike very happy. And the other thing that was good, they got a rain out on Wednesday, so they couldn't have lost that game either. So here's hoping that, Mike, you enjoy this weekend series, 100% capacity at Citizens Bank Park, as the roar of the crowd joins the crack of the bat as the Phillies return home for a 3-game set, and as I return to the news desks. Phil, take over.
And be sure to check out this week's entire half hour of Let's Talk Sports Saturday at 2 and 8:30 p.m. and again Sunday at noon and 5:30 p.m. Coming up on June Dale's News Choice, your week in review, courtesy of our Ryan Osachi. Plus, wrapping up this week's Leading the Way. Stay with us.
Hey, Dr. Alex here with another Feel Good Friday. So today we're talking about adjustments and all I can give you in 1 minute on them. So as a chiropractor, I give a lot of adjustments. People will come and see me and say something feels out of place or something's hurting, can you help me? And a lot of times I'll find that something's not in place. One of the main things chiropractors are looking at is how your nerves are functioning. So if nerves aren't functioning right and I can trace it back to a bone being out of place, great. I'll move that bone away from the nerve, stop encroaching on it, let it function normally. This gives a lot of cool benefits in addition to just pain release and normal function. But sometimes people will come to see me and it'll just be a joint that's not moving right, but it won't be out of place. When there's irregularities in the joint, moving it through that zone with an adjustment, which is really fast, but not painful and not hard, gets rid of those irregularities and lets the joint function normal again. And this helps your body to feel good.
If you're looking for an affordable pre-owned car or truck, Jura's Auto Sales has a great lineup of clean, dependable, and quality vehicles. Stop in 610 North Broad Street, West Hazleton, 570-454-7229.
Why don't you watch Let's Talk Chiropractic this week? You know, the average American is in 5.1 car accidents before they die. Kat was in a car accident. She chose chiropractic and massage. See how we changed her life.
Membership opportunities are now available at the Valley Country Club, 79 Country Club Lane in Sugarloaf. Clubhouse upgrades are in progress and will be ready for the spring. Call Frank Radis for details at 570-233-5328.
PPW Nation, get ready for the best of PPW Season 2. Join Paul Bowe, E. Julius Kuiper, Alexander Bravado, Tom Mitchell, and Alex Watt as we take you down memory lane and relive some of the best PPW matches of all time. Saturdays at 5 p.m., Sundays at 10 p.m., only on WYLN.
Did you know that WYLN News provides news updates every weekday afternoon at 1, 3, and 5 here on TV and on social media? Did you also know you can watch WYLN News on the go by visiting our website or YouTube page? Now more than ever, WYLN is your local news leader.
Monday. Memorial Day parades and ceremonies took place all across our area, let alone the nation, to honor the fallen servicemen and women who've given the ultimate sacrifice. The weather also seemed to cooperate throughout our viewing area for day one of pandemic restrictions being lifted, with the exception of mask wearing for the time being. The first ever Memorial Day service took place on May 30th, 1868 at Arlington National Cemetery. The holiday, originally known as Decoration Day, was later designated as Memorial Day at the turn of the 20th century. And even decades later, we pause to honor and remember those who have fallen defending our country with memorial services, ceremonies, 3 volley salutes, and taps, while continuing to keep those that are bravely serving our country in our thoughts and prayers. So while the barbecues and celebrations are always fun, remember the reason we have this day to celebrate in the first place: the lives given to make sure that we can spend it free. Our nation owes a debt to our fallen heroes that we can never fully repay. We can only honor their sacrifices. Tuesday. The U.S. Attorney's Office for the Middle District of Pennsylvania and the Justice Department reached a settlement with the City of Hazleton and its police department to help citizens communicate with the police. The agreement resolves the Justice Department investigation of HPD under Title VI of the Civil Rights Act of 1964, which prohibits discrimination on the basis of race, color, and national origin by recipients of federal assistance such as the Hazleton Police Department. The department has now agreed to secure proper means of communicating with the city's Spanish-speaking community. The department will also release a new standard operating procedure on language access, requiring HPD officers to provide appropriate language assistance in any context with LEP community members. The department has taken steps to hire bilingual officers, and as of now, any officers struggling with the language barrier will utilize a phone service that allows them accessible forms of communication. Wednesday. Hazleton police are asking for the public's help identifying a suspect who allegedly fired shots while riding a bicycle last Thursday. Police were called to the area of Hayes and 13th Street shortly after 10 p.m. for a report of shots fired. 2 vehicles were struck, but no injuries were reported. The suspect was last seen riding a 10-speed bicycle, wearing a white bandana on his head and a gray hooded sweatshirt. Anyone with information is still being asked to call 911. Thursday. Traffic was built up and detoured after a tractor-trailer flipped onto its side along Route 93 in Sugarloaf Township around 11 Thursday morning. A tractor-trailer driving north on Route 93 attempted to turn and enter the on-ramp of 81 South when it slowly overturned until it hit pavement. Sugarloaf Police, Penn State Hazleton Campus Police, and Sugarloaf Fire Company responded to the rollover, which they said could have been attributed to the load shifting. Traffic was being directed away from the scene as first responders cleared debris and removed the tractor-trailer. The driver ended up okay and didn't sustain any major injuries. First responders were also addressing a small diesel leak as traffic was slow moving along Route 93, but was back to its normal flow by 8 p.m. Friday. Authorities have released the identity of one of the 2 victims that were found in a wooded area of Carbon County. The female victim was identified as 55-year-old Jingjang Gao of New York. The male victim found along with Gao has also been identified, but his name has not been released pending notification of his family. The bodies were discovered back on May 22nd off of Eckley Road in Lusan Township. There's no word at this time to the cause of death or any persons of interest in this case. That's it for your week in review here on Wyln News.
SJ Kowalski is your Mitsubishi Diamond Contractor. They can install a Mitsubishi electric Mr. Slim ductless heating and cooling system. Mr. Slim systems are designed to make any living space in your home inviting. You can have a different temperature control for every room in your home. The money-saving technology can save you 25 to 50% on your heating bill. For Mitsubishi, Rinnai, and trained comfort specialists, call SJ Kowalski at 570-455-2600.
At Grand Central, our family has been supplying your family with quality brand name furniture, mattresses, and appliances for over 3 generations. Whether you choose from our excellent selection of Lazy Boy, Catnapper, or England furniture, or from our fantastic selection of Sealy and Stearns & Foster mattresses, we guarantee total comfort in every room of your home.
With expert advice,
everyday low prices,
plus interest-free financing for up to 60 months.
From our family to your family.
Grand Central in Hazleton. Everything to make your house a home.
What's on TV? Plenty. WYLN TV 35, the best in local programming.
There's no better place to shoot than Whitetail Preserve. Their skeet trap and sporting clay fields are professionally designed and all stations are handicapped accessible. Whitetail Preserve has resident shooting instructors certified by the NRA in shotgun, rifle, pistol, home safety, and personal protection in the home. Whitetail can also cater any size event, whether it be a private party, corporate event, or wedding. Call 570-455-4251 extension 1378 for more information. WYLN CA35's children's programming is designed with the specific purpose of serving the educational and informational needs of children. In compliance with FCC guidelines, a copy of the children's programming report is on file for public inspection at WYLN 1057 East 10th Street in Hazleton, Pennsylvania during normal business hours. To view the report online, visit fcc.org.
WYLN's going behind the scenes to learn more about the lives and goals of our local leaders. So, Tony Colombo is leading the way to wrap up this week's series. And welcome back to this week's final segment of Leading the Way with Tony Colombo. So, looking towards the future, what's ahead? I know November's coming. I know you just had a successful win in the primaries. Congratulations, by the way.
Thank you.
And what else can we look forward to? Any other projects coming up? Anything you're looking towards?
Well, as you said, I am back on the ballot for November. I'd like to finish what we started. I think we're moving the city in the right direction. I know I have the citizens and the whole city at heart. People call me. I have a few people throughout the area that touched base before the primary and said that you're the only guy we call and something gets done. Well, I don't go away. You know, we did 9/11 20 years ago. Everybody I worked for a donation until you either gave me something or told me just not to come back. And I do the same now. If somebody calls, they need a stop sign, I contact the proper authorities like the mayor, DPW, and it gets done. There are a lot of things on the horizon. We do have big industry that are looking to come into Hazleton, which I'm sure people are following with Black Creek up in 309. We are working with them right now because we are having some issues with the residents in Birch Knoll. So we're trying to make that work happily at both sides, that Black Blue Ridge Contracting can do something to be a good neighbor for our residents that have lived there for years. And right now when they took the trees down, there's no more barrier for noise and wind. We are working with them to try and make our residents, make their life somewhat, bearable till this building gets done and they put the arborvitae to make a fence. But there's so many good things that are coming to the city. We have that. Like I said, we have the pole climbers coming. The dog park's in use almost every weekend. Rotary's bringing their wine festival, wine and cheese festival up to the dog park. Many, many things happening for the city. And I'm very proud to be part of it. And I want to thank our residents because they're the people that have made it all happen, making it possible.
And you're talking about all these things coming for the city. What do you see for the future of Hazleton?
I see the city continuing to grow and be the Hazleton that it was when I was young. It's getting there. There is no longer us or them. We're all one, and that's a big thing. I've been pledging that since day one. We're all God's children. We got to get along, and I think we've proven that we work with the Hip Center, we work with all the different nationalities and everything in the city to prove it that Hazleton is one, and Hazleton will be that all-American city that that it once was, and be great with all of our residents.
All right, folks, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for sticking with us this week, and an even bigger thank you to our guest, Tony Colombo. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you.
Folks, best of luck. Best of life. Good night. And that's the news. Remember, the source matters now more than ever. Catch all the latest on our Facebook page or at WYLNTV.com, where you can also find LVHN's real facts about COVID-19. Stay with us. A look at today's weather is next, right here on WYLN TV.